Grab a quick phone call here. We have Zach, 20 years old, in college in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Hi, Zach. I'm glad you called.
Hey, Rush. How you doing?
Very well. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Rush. I really felt compelled to call today. Like you just said, I'm 20 years old. I'm a college student, and I'm really angry, Rush. I'm really angry. I want to tell you why I'm angry, and that'll lead me up to my question I have for you. I think yesterday I really reached my boiling point when I was watching the news. I was watching my local news, and I saw Obama. He was preparing sandwiches for the homeless at a soup kitchen or something like that. And I was with a few of my friends, and I started grumbling a bit when I just came onto the television. They're all like, well, what? They're used to me being a little more into politics and, paying attention to this type of thing than they usually
Zach,
do. They're like, why does this make you angry?
Zach, hold it right there. I misjudged the clock by a minute. Can you hold on to the break to finish?
Yeah, sure.
Good, great. I'm glad it's my bad here. Hold on, we'll be right back. Hold your thought right there. Okay, we're back. We got Zach here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and you left off. You were watching local news with some friends. You saw Obama at the soup kitchen, and you said your friends are used to you being a little bit more into politics and paying attention to that kind of stuff than they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked you why you got mad at what you saw. Why did you get mad?
Well, there are a couple reasons, Rush. Number one, as you have informed me, people who don't listen to you may not know this because, the mainstream media won't really tell you, but you have the Republicans genuinely interested in, coming to terms with Obama, trying to come up with some civil bipartisanship, and it's not working. We're not hearing that in the mainstream media. So why isn't he in the trenches trying to figure this out, trying to sort this out? And also, it just made so much sense. This is where he is. He's trying to look really good to the liberals. Here he is in the soup kitchen. I'm telling you, Rush, I'm surprised he's not on vacation right now, honestly. But this leads me to my question. It's not working. We're trying to do this. We've tried to pass, various things. We tried to open up parks. We tried to open up national museums. We tried to open up things that, right now aren't considered non-essential, but they might be a little more essential than, people think. But, Rush, are we going to have to blink, with the debt ceiling approaching and everything? Are we going to have to blink? Are Republicans going to have to blink? Right now, we're not really winning the fight. I mean, I think there's a little bit. People are starting to really realize kind of what's going on, but
Zach, what do you want?
Enough.
What do you want them to do?
What would I like them to do?
Yeah, what do you want? You want the Republicans to blink and end this so that the shutdown ends and the bleeding stops?
Well, I don't know, Rush. I mean, it's really unfair because, like I said, you have the Republicans genuinely interested. Like I said, civil bipartisanship. We're trying to come to terms with them, but they won't let anything pass. Like you keep saying, it's instilled in us. They're trying to inflict pain. We know that, but the mainstream media does not depict these things. You don't see these things. We've tried to pass numerous things. Obama, unless we embrace his complete plan, nothing will be passed. I don't know what I'd like them to do, Rush, because when I say we, the GOP, the Republicans, they're depicted as monsters pretty much right now. I don't know if you've ever looked at Obama's Twitter. They're all tweets signed by him. They need to be signed before they're tweeted. But they say things like,
Let me now. I'm glad you mentioned Twitter. Do you know that supposedly 19 million followers of Obama's Twitter page, and it's been learned that the vast majority of them are fake. They don't exist.
Is that right?
Yep. Zach, I hear it in your voice. You are 20 years old, you're a Republican conservative, and you can't take much more of this. You can't take much more of this criticism, of this impugning, of the lying mischaracterization of the Republicans. You don't see them ever winning. You don't see what this is worth, because in all of their efforts, what you call civil bipartisanship, which is what The media tells them the people want, so they try it. It's rejected. There's nothing they can do. So they might as well just cut the bleeding and end the bad press. The bad press isn't going to end. You're 20. Ronald Reagan got this kind of press. Barry Goldwater got this kind of press. Every Republican who has succeeded, George W. Bush got this kind of press. Sarah Palin, every successful Republican got this kind of press. I'll tell you what bothers me. When Palin was chosen to be the vice president, great acceptance speech at the convention and a good first speech there with McCain, wherever it was, I think Indianapolis, someplace in Indiana. And immediately the Democrats started and the media started making fun of her, and they talked about what an idiot she was, made up things that she never said. She never said that she was an expert on foreign policy because she could see Russia from her house in Alaska. She never said it. Tina Fey said that, portraying her. It became as though in the media, Palin said it. And I'd run into Republicans who said, we got to let her go. We got to throw her overboard. She's killing us. And I got infuriated, Zach. I literally, at a dinner party I hosted, walked out. I got so infuriated at the seeming ease that so-called Republicans had with letting the Democrats pick our winners and losers, letting the Democrats pick our nominee, letting the Democrats and the media pick who among us are going to be our leaders. And, of course, they're always going to pick, and they're always going to get rid of people that they're afraid of. But what bothered me was that it was the media saying this stuff about Palin, and these people, if the media is saying it, we got to dump her. And I reject that totally. If the media is ripping into somebody, I want to keep them. The media is trying to destroy Ted Cruz, I want to keep him. There's a reason for it. I think what's happening, and I've spent a lot of time in the first hour of the program, what's happening here is that, I think everybody at the end of the day thinks that Obama is going to win this. But it is how the Republicans comport themselves in this that determines whether they really win it or lose it in the long term. Because there's a lot of politics to come after this. There are a lot of elections to come after this. There are a lot of policies to come after this. There are a lot of things that we're going to want to oppose again. Obamacare is going to be seen as an absolute disaster by people once it gets into its full implementation cycle. It's going to be an absolute disaster. And I think, the Republicans speaking up now, Zach, are doing what they were elected to do. And I think that they're going to be rewarded down the line for standing up for what Republicans believe and doing their level best to stop this. There's not a Republican in office who ran supporting Obamacare. Not one of them voted for it. Every one of them ripped it at some point. Every one of them criticized. The vast majority promised in election campaigns to do everything they could to defund it or to repeal it or whatever. But when the time came, very few of them stood up. Those people do not have bright futures in the Republican Party. I would fight if I were you. If I had the ability to persuade you, I would tell you to fight this notion to let the media dictate what you think Republican policy ought to be. That's what's happening now, and that's why you're mad. The Republicans are essentially trying to limit the damage in the media. They've been doing it my whole life. What they're trying to do is eliminate the damage or mitigate it and stop the bleeding. And all it does is encourage more of this kind of treatment. It's not going to stop it. If Obama gets everything he wants in this case, do you think all of a sudden the Republicans are going to be loved? You think the American people are going to say, yeah, I like these Republicans now. Yeah, they're very civil. I like the bipartisanship in caving and agreeing with Obama. That's not the case. The vast majority of the people, despite the election results, do not want Obamacare, do not like what's happening to the country, and it's worth fighting for. And I cringe when I hear people want to throw everything overboard because the media killing us. Because that's always been the case, and it always will be the case. And it's also true the media doesn't always win. Zach, the media's job is to depress you. The media's job is to dispirit you. The media's job is to make you think that what you want can never happen because it's racist, sexist, extremist, not in the mainstream, homophobic, and all those things. They want you to think the way you're thinking. And if we're ever going to get out of this cycle, it's going to be because people refuse to let the media pick our nominees, pick our leaders, let the media get away with destroying various Republicans. That's got to stop. And until that does, what you're seeing isn't going to change. So buck up. Hang in there. You're 20. You're going to be needed. You are needed now. Quick timeout, folks. We'll be back after this.